yeah. That's right. Hey, do me a favor, smash the like button as you're coming in. This one's gonna get wild and crazy, baby. Wild and crazy. Friday. You made it to another Friday. I made it to another Friday. Can we just congratulate each other for making it to another Friday? We did it. We did it, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Den of Nerds. I am Josh, and we have an incredible show for you today. Absolutely massive Marvel news out there in the news places. We have to talk about massive amounts of Marvel shows being canceled or reworked. This is the Nova show. This is the Strange Academy show. And something called Terror Inc. or something that was really on nobody's radar. This was news that came out yesterday, right as we were finishing up our stream or our show. And it's weird news. So I want to get into talking about what's so weird about it. And then strangely yesterday, as other insiders were talking about this story, one of them had mentioned that there is actually an X-Men show being developed. And if you read the tea leaves of what happened with this essentially press release from Marvel Studios and the fact that they are hitting the pause button on several shows, and the fact that we are hearing that this new X-Men show is being developed, one could assume that perhaps Marvel is changing their plan, that they are pivoting away from some of these other, I don't know, lesser known, less exciting franchises on television to X-Men and going all in on X-Men, which I think would be dope as hell. So there's a lot to get into with this. I want to break down the actual story, talk about why it's weird, what we know about the canceled shows. Are they ever going to come out? What are the actual shows coming out now from Marvel Studios? And then I want to talk about that X-Men stuff. But we also have to discuss some very bizarre, very confusing DCEU news. I don't know if you guys saw this, but yesterday, Zack Snyder was in a picture with one James Gunn. And, you know, I had a completely normal reaction to that, as I'm sure many other people did. But the thing is, you know, even though I'd like to ignore it and act like that photo doesn't exist, it does exist. And also, apparently right now, as I am talking to you, as the words are coming out of my mouth, there is some kind of secret press event happening at Warner Brothers for the DCU. Literally right now. And if you look at the photo that Gunn posted with Zack Snyder, it appears that the photo was taken on the lot or in the offices of Warner Brothers. What in the Sam Hill are they cooking up over there? What is going on? We're going to have to get into that. We're going to break it down. Also have a couple of rapid fire pieces of news for you today. There is actually some footage of Secret Wars and the filming and the sets that are being built over in London. It's not much, but it's enough for me to go crazy about, so we're going to do a full hour on that. And there's new Daredevil promotional material and something really crazy that has been teased in the new promotion for Daredevil. Man, they are really cooking with that show, so I want to go over that at some point today as well. As far as show notes are concerned, nothing to really report, man. You made it to another Friday. We're going to go through this news, have a normal-ass stream. I'm excited to get into the Q&A, and I do want to say that, as always, we will just get into the news. I'll give you my takes. We'll go through all the stuff, and then we're going to get into Q&A. And every day over here is an incredible, fun, enriching experience, especially during the Q&A portion where I talk to chat, and chat basically triggers the fuck out of me. And yesterday was a very good example of me getting really triggered and crashing out because of chat. And I am working on the Doctor Doom thing, so I'll pull this up right here, okay? This is a tweet of mine, and I just want to show you this. I want to set this up, okay? So this right here is a tweet of mine, Oh, the standby thing? What the hell is going on there? That's, Jesus. Of course that's going on. Okay, so this right here is a tweet that is on my Twitter account right now. And it says, okay, if you are worried about or don't like the RDJ Dr. Doom casting, tell me why. I'll be going over a bunch of these comments on stream tomorrow. The thing is, I'm not going over any of these comments today, but I actually want to dedicate a whole video. I have over 70 comments on this thing already. I want to dedicate a whole video to this. And so it's not that I don't want to talk about this. It was my plan to talk about it today. However, with all of the crazy news that came out about the shows and the X-Men thing and then the Zack Snyder gun thing, I think we're going to focus on that. That'll be for today's show. So if you are one of those people yesterday, or you are just a person in general that has, concerns and you're not super pumped about the RDJ Dr. Doom thing, I would urge you to go find this tweet and reply to it. I will be going through the replies on this tweet, and I'm going to be making a whole video where I address a lot of the fans' concerns and some of the reasons why people are not that pumped about it. So we'll put that all into a video, and I just wanted to put that out there at the start of the stream because, of course, we will just get into Q&A later on in the show, and we'll go into all the super chats, member chats, and hang out with y'all. But I wanted to kind of just upfront explain, hey, we're going to do that, but we're going to do it in a video. If you have some comments, concerns, please put them in this tweet. That way it's just easiest for me to find all of the comments and just kind of get a vibe for where the fans are at. So with that said, let's now get into the news, man. Let's now begin and talk about this. So yesterday, basically right as we were finishing up the show, massive news came out in the Hollywood trades. Now, I always tell you guys, when something comes out in the Hollywood trades, it's a big deal, right? It's a super big deal. They have not only do they have incredible track record and incredible sources, but they also have a direct relationship with the studios. So if anything ever happens, if they ever said anything that was out of pocket or reported something that was incorrect, the studio could reach out to them and they would correct it, like basically immediately. And we've seen that happen before too with the Hollywood trades. So Hollywood trades, a big deal, and therefore the news that was released yesterday made massive waves, okay? We tend to follow a lot of leakers and scoopers and insiders and sort of smaller accounts. Sometimes they will say absolutely crazy things, and it won't get picked up on or go big as far as searches and being spread around the internet. But when the Hollywood trades say something, it usually does. It just kind of like, it's taken a little bit more seriously. And therefore, like, a lot more people are like, yo, this is, like, actually news. Like, holy shit, right? And so what is the news? Well, it's such a weird piece that came out. But essentially, Deadline reported that Marvel Studios was hitting the pause button on 3 different shows. Okay? 3 different shows. The first one is Strange Academy. Now, we'll talk more about all these different shows. Man, buckle up, man. We got a lot to get into today, man. We're going to talk about all the shows. No stone will be left unturned today, okay? But just for the sake of understanding the story, it was Strange Academy, which was said to be like a Harry Potter-esque thing with Wong potentially at the center of it. A lot of young sorcerers, magical Harry Potter land, Disney Plus show. The other show was Nova. And we've been hearing so much about Nova recently. It's wild as hell. I mean, you've had leaks from My Time to Shine. You've had leaks from Daniel RPK. You've had even, stuff said by Jeff Snyder. You've had Brad Winderbaum dropping teases and hints and speaking to Brandon Davis about it. And the whole context of those conversations is usually Brandon has heard some rumors and whatnot because we're all fans. We're all living in this Marvel space. And then he'll bring stuff up to Brad. And so, in my opinion, I think the most shocking part of this is Nova because so many of us felt like it was actually happening. It had picked up steam and it was so close to happening. Okay, so we're going to talk more about that, but there's also another show here that's really weird called Terror Incorporated. I have zero clue, zero fucking idea what Terror Incorporated could be. But it's basically just an unannounced show that we had never heard about seems like it would have been something related to the horror or the supernatural side of the MCU, and it was going to be a Disney Plus show. So what that means is that Deadline's big article yesterday was kind of like a press release that was telling us, the fans, that 3 different shows that they had never officially announced were being paused. And look, I think it's weird, right? I saw on the Hot Mic podcast yesterday, I saw Jeff Snyder was saying this is really weird. I agree. I think it's weird as hell. Particularly because of Nova and how much the scoopers were scooping when it came to Nova. Like, look, let me show you a couple of things here, right? This is fascinating. We had My Time to Shine putting out like damn near all full-ass plot leaks about the show, right? Daniel talking about casting, talking about the plot. Richard Rider, Young Nova's Annihilus, right? You had so many people talking about it, and then check this out. Now that the news dropped yesterday, you've got the scoopers saying even more about this show. So check this out. My Time to Shine here says, now that it's on pause, but not canceled, I can reveal that the role Henry Cavill was being considered for was Annihilus. And this is in response to a scoop she had just 5 days ago about Henry Cavill being eyed for a role in the Nova show. I thought maybe he'd be Richard Rider, and that could be cool. She said Annihilus, right? Wild. So check this out. Charles Murphy says here, man, how in the hell can you just continue to leave Nova on the back burner? They had a story and a showrunner. So like, dude, that's wild as hell. He's saying they literally had a story and they had a showrunner for this thing. Okay? And then Daniel just this morning said Marvel Studios wanted Austin Butler. Now, Daniel came out and clarified this. An Austin Butler type. This was probably another casting grid. And it was something like, we're looking for an Austin Butler type for this young, leading role in this Marvel show, et cetera, et cetera. So it technically wasn't Austin Butler. I just want to put that out there because everybody's misinterpreting what Daniel said. I just want to set the record straight so you guys know what it is. But think about this. These are 3 massive scoopers that had all been talking about the show at great lengths up until now. And now they're talking about it even more and kind of flagrantly, right? So what's weird about this situation is it feels like this has something to do with the scoopers, in my opinion. So there's one of 2 ways that this could be going down. Number 1, Marvel Studios could be trying to make the scoopers look bad, right? Because the scoopers have been talking so much about Nova in particular, but there was also a lot of stuff being said about Strange Academy and all that. So if Marvel can turn around and be like, yeah, we're hitting pause on all of this stuff, it kind of makes the scoopers look bad. The problem with that, though, is all of the scoopers kind of look good because they were the only ones talking about these projects in general. Like, Marvel never officially announced any of these things. So I think it's kind of silly. If they're doing this to try to make the scoopers look bad, I don't think it's really working the way that they intended, but I could see the possible intent behind it. The other thing that could be happening here is that Marvel is really trying to signal to us, the fans, and really to like some of the most hardcore Marvel fans that are out there, that the track or the narrative that the scoopers had been spreading is false. It has changed, right? So either way you slice it, it feels like this is connected to the scoopers and the insiders in some way. And it's either Marvel trying to diminish them, or it's Marvel addressing the very narratives that they are creating within the fan base. It's quite interesting to me that this happened, and it seems really weird, okay? Now, another aspect to this, and this is from what I heard, right? Because I spoke to some people, I spoke to some insiders, I spoke to some leakers, I spoke to some scoopers. What they are saying is that this is just an adjustment because Marvel realized that their plan with the MCU shows was bad, and they are rethinking it. And that's really interesting. So if you're asking for like, what's the official line from like insiders, what are they saying this is? That's what they're saying. Like, they're saying the plan was bad, it was confusing, it didn't make sense, and they're adjusting their overall plan again. And I would have to ask you, right? Like, if that's actually what's happening, which I think there's truth in it, if that's what's happening, who is they? Who is the they that is rethinking this, right? Well, I mean, obviously it's Kevin Feige, Brad Winderbaum, the head of Marvel Television, et cetera, et cetera. But is it also potentially new people? And when I say new people, they're not really new, but is it the Russos? Is it the Russos? Because as we're going to get to later on, the rumors of what they are actually developing now are connected to the X-Men. And it is very possible that the Russos are somewhat involved in that, because a lot of those rumors we heard that the Russo brothers were helping out with the X-Men stuff, those appear to be true. That appears to be real. So the Russos, in some way, shape, or form, are going to be helping Marvel past Secret Wars, and they're helping plan and organize the X-Men saga. Okay, but we'll talk more about the X-Men show. We'll talk about, more about like where this is all going, but that's basically what the story is. So if I had to like encapsulate it, or you were like, yo, what's the breaking news? The breaking news is Marvel Studios essentially has hit the pause button on production of 3 big shows. One of them being Nova, one of them being Strange Academy, one of them being Terror Inc. All of a sudden, leaks and scoopers are coming out of the woodwork with details about Nova, indicating that it was maybe the closest one to actually shooting, had a story, had a showrunner, was literally casting and all these different things. It was in a stage of development that made it very close to being greenlit. Well, guess what? It's not greenlit. Not happening. Not anytime soon. That's the reality of the situation. These shows, none of them are happening anytime soon. And the official line as to why from insiders is that Marvel thought the plan they had with the television was whack, and they realized it wouldn't work, so they're adjusting again. Okay, so that's the baseline. Now let's talk about these shows, because is this a W or is this an L? That's the big question. So what do we know about these shows? Let's start with Terror Incorporated. Nobody has any fucking idea. Nobody knows. It was not on anybody's radar. We can assume it was some supernatural stuff. And sure, there's a really cool library of supernatural characters and fun things that Marvel could pull from there. Maybe this would be connected to Midnight Suns. Maybe this would be connected to other supernatural characters like Agatha, etc. These characters that we've been developing over the past couple of years. No real details on it. But I'll tell you this, man. You just tell me the name, Terror Incorporated. Yeah, don't do it. Cancel that shit. I'm just based off of the title. Like, if we're in a boardroom meeting here, or let's be real. In fact, let's have some goddamn fun on this Friday, chat. We've also heard recently that Marvel Studios and other studios are literally putting stuff out there and checking what the super fans think about it, as a way to kind of decide how they make things. That was in the Hollywood trades as well. We know they're doing it. We know they're watching us right now. They're always watching us, probably watching us 24/7. So let's give them what they want. Let's give them what they want, chat. Thumbs up, thumbs down, yes or no? Are we green lighting Terror Incorporated? Just based off of this. It's called Terror Incorporated, and it's a team-up show of B and C level supernatural Marvel characters. Yes or no? Are you greenlighting that, chat? Let me know. So what do we know about Strange Academy? Well, we know that Strange Academy is based around a Harry Potter-esque, Strange Academy is a thing in the Marvel comics with, a bunch of, younger sorcerers, wizards, etc. This has been a thing. They just did Doom's Academy, too, by the way, where one world under Doom they took over, and he's now messing with the Strange Academy. These are the young sorcerers. This is essentially where we leave America Chavez at the end of Multiverse Madness. By the way, whole bunch of no's. You know what? We should be scientific, though. Let's go to the polls. Let's be scientific about this. Are we green lighting? What's it called? Terror Incorporated. Sounds like some James Gunn shit, for real. Are we green lighting Terror Incorporated? I'm going to put the official poll up there. Check it out. There's Doom Academy right now as well. Yeah. No, I just said that. That's you can kind of see how maybe they thought they could tap into that energy with the show or something like that. From what we've heard, Wong would have been at the center of the show, and it would have really gone after like those Harry Potter vibes. You know, youthful people all in a new environment together, like going to boarding school or some shit, but it's all about being a sorcerer and stuff like that. Again, Wong at the center of it. So I'll let the poll run here a little bit longer, but so far, guys, it's 74% no on Terror Incorporated. Yeah, now you know, fuck it, we'll move right on because I think nobody wants to greenlit that. Let's talk about Strange Academy. Chat, are you green lighting Strange Academy based off of what I said about it? We don't know a lot about it. Wong is the center of the show. Disney Plus show, a bunch of young wizards and sorcerers, maybe America Chavez, maybe not, and they're all coming in to do Harry Potter shit on a Disney Plus show. Are we greenlighting that show or not? Actually, I'm kind of surprised. It's like 50-50 right now. I'm kind of surprised, but I'm going to let you go on that. Let me talk a little bit about Nova. From what we know about Nova, and honestly, we know way too much about Nova, for real. Nova would have seen Richard Rider established as a Nova member and potentially Nova Prime as well. And it would have seen him leading a young group of Nova Corps people, and they would have been fighting against Annihilus. Okay? So think Austin Butler type. Think a young cast of Nova Corps recruits. Some kind of space adventure, summer camp adventure thing, and then they fight Annihilus. Hang on, I'm going to sneeze. Yeah, okay, so Strange Academy right now is 50-50. 49% no, 51% yes. Okay, I'm going to go to the polls. And I want to know about Nova. Yes or no? Would you greenlight Nova? To me, I'm going to be honest here. And maybe this will surprise you. Maybe it won't surprise you. Nick, appreciate you. We'll go over that later. I would cancel all these things. I think don't just hit pause on these shows. Cancel them. Literally cancel all of these projects. Terror Incorporated, no idea what it is. Don't care. It's got a stupid name. Probably going to be stupid as hell. Get it out of my face. Strange Academy. I like Wong, but I've had enough. No more Wong. No more Wong focus this. No more Wong focus that. And I damn sure don't want to see a bunch of tweens messing around with Wong as he sneaks Madison in and out of the Sanctum Sanctorum, and it's all just goofy, happy-go-lucky bullshit. Fuck that shit. I'm over it. Nova. Nova's tricky. Nova has, out of all of these shows, Nova has the highest potential, the highest possibility to actually be really good, to be really fun and really adventurous. But I got to tell you, nah, cancel that shit. Because the idea was going to be some Nova dude with a bunch of tweeny young kids trying to be Nova Corps members. And the truth of the matter is, guys, the truth of the matter is nobody knows who Nova is. I know who Nova is. You know who Nova is. But let's be real, man. Nobody really knows who Nova is. Nova's not that big of a character, not that popular of a character. I understand the hardcore people really want Nova, but Nova doesn't get normies excited. Terror Incorporated does not get normies excited. Strange Academy does not get normies excited. And I think with where the Marvel brand is currently at, all three of these shows have a little bit too much of that Phase 4 Marvel energy. We're trying to take obscure characters. We're trying to take characters that have a built-in accessible, like basically access points to more normie types of audiences through the Harry Potter thing, with Strange Academy. Nova's maybe looking to tap into like Space Adventure, Skeleton Crew. I don't know, that kind of energy. Terra Incorporated, a little bit of like maybe Suicide Squad or that James Gunn Suicide Squad energy. And I basically think that like here's the question, right? Could I imagine a scenario in which these shows are actually really cool, really hyped up, and really fun? Yes. But are these the shows that are actually going to get fans really excited and normie fans really excited and get people to check them out? Because at this point, guys, they need to deliver absolute fire every single time, regardless of what the show is called. Okay? So they need to deliver fire. Like, let's not get it twisted. Regardless of what shows they make, it needs to be fire. But I truly think one of the problems Marvel has had recently is they're not actually picking IP or characters that are big enough within the public, zeitgeist to actually move the needle and get people excited about it. I mean, I'm a goddamn hardcore Marvel fan. Not a single one of these shows really does anything for me. Again, I could twist around plot ideas and think about ways that they would all be absolutely incredible, but there's no inherent draw to them. They don't actually feel like they would be dope things that would get the fandom really charged up and excited. So I got to be real with you. I don't know who made this decision. I don't know who over there is thinking about these projects and the potential other projects, but whoever decided to hit pause on all of these shows made a great decision. I would maybe continue to develop Nova and do it later. I would literally abandon the other shows. And honestly, Nova would work better as a main character in like a huge Annihilation Wave movie or a big cosmic show that was so much bigger than just like Nova, and make him a part of it, right? That's what I would do. That's how I think it would work. Now, with that being said, the question becomes, what shows are they even actually making? Like, what's actually even in development right now, right? And I saw a lot of scoopers and a lot of insiders really confused about this, and I think from what I've seen, there's definitely the Vision Quest show, which is essentially the spinoff of Agatha and WandaVision. This will be about finding Tommy. That's still going. They have like movement on that. They know what they're doing with that. And I think it's also going to lead into some stuff with Doomsday and Wanda's kids, et cetera, et cetera. So I think the Vision Quest show is real. That's the one we know for sure is happening. We also know Daredevil Born Again Season 2 is happening. That show is filming right now. So they have a story. They're going full steam ahead. I think they're trying to release the second season of Daredevil next freaking year. So those two shows are really real. As far as what other shows are out there, besides like, Wonder Man, Ironheart, and the shows that we're going to see this year, there's Hawkeye Season 2, which earlier today, just today, we actually got comments from Brad Winderbaum talking to Entertainment Weekly. So I'll pull these up for you here. Check this out. Brad Winderbaum says, looking for opportunities to do Season 2 of Hawkeye. Confirms head of television, Brad Winderbaum. So we've heard a lot of rumors about Season 2 of Hawkeye, and it appears that all of that is still real and on board. So that might be actually the shows you're looking at. These are shows that could film later this year. Daredevil's already filming. Vision Quest, I'm absolutely certain will film. Hawkeye Season 2 is a big maybe, okay? So that's like the state of it all. That's like the news. That's everything we knew about the shows. Ultimately, my take is that this is a good move because I agree that all of these shows would not have actually created a lot of hyper excitement, and therefore I just think they're a bad use of resources, right? So what's going to happen instead? And now's the time where we get into the X-Men stuff. Oh, baby, baby, baby. I'm so excited to talk about this shit. So, yesterday on the Hot Mic podcast, and full credit to Jeff Snyder. I'm pretty sure this is like completely, totally his scoop, some stuff that he heard. And I frankly cannot believe that this didn't blow up more on social media. But then again, when I first heard it, I was like, nah, I don't believe it. Y'all are lying to me and whatnot, right? And so some people actually sent me the clip. I watched what Jeff said with John Roca on the Hot Mic podcast yesterday. It's fascinating. So what Jeff said was that he asked around about like Strange Academy, and he basically said he had heard that there was an Academy show, but it wasn't Strange Academy. It was like an X-Men Academy show, right? And that's crazy. The first time anybody's ever made mention of that. He went on to say that some people said, or I guess characterized this as something that could happen like really soon. Other sources told him this would not be done soon and would likely be a series that would happen after the X-Men movie. Okay? So the X-Men movie right now is rumored to drop in 2027, maybe at the end of the year. And so then you would drop the X-Men movie and then potentially drop this X-Men Academy show at the end of 2027. And my God, that sounds absolutely incredible. So here's the thing, man. That's what we know officially from Jeff. Now I'm going to go crazy on Speculation Town. Okay, everything I'm about to say from this point on is speculation. It's informed speculation. Obviously, I'm plugged in. I'm paying attention to everything. But let's just be real. It's speculation, okay? So if Marvel was looking at all of these shows and basically just said, yeah, but what if we just did an X-Men show? And then that was the calculus that got them to realize, yeah, maybe Terror Incorporated ain't it. Maybe Strange Academy with Wongers is like a cool subplot in a movie or something we could put in a little animated short or some shit. And even Nova, like, let's be real, nobody knows who the fuck Nova is. Maybe we just do an X-Men show. If that's what's happening over there, like, eureka. You know what I mean? Like, thank God. Like, holy crap. Because everything we just said about all of those shows and how there wouldn't exactly be a draw. I mean, nobody wanted to greenlight Strange Academy, or rather, Terror Incorporated. It was 50-50 on Strange Academy. And then there was like 60-40 on even Nova, right? So let's do a poll. Let's do some science. Okay? Would you greenlight an X-Men Academy show? Let's just see if this one passes the smell test, right? And my prediction is going to be that a lot more people would want them to greenlight an X-Men or a Mutant project. And when I thought about this, I was like, dude, this solves all of those other problems, because just by being a mutant, just by being an X-Men, and by connecting the show to the new Marvel version of the X-Men, like the MCU X-Men and the Mutant Saga and all of that, it is instantly way more interesting to me. And I don't even know who the players would be. So what's crazy is you're talking about a concept that is so cool and so inherently interesting that we don't even know what the plot would be. We don't know what the characters would be. There's so much we don't know about it. And yet it's already more interesting and exciting than Nova, which we would know who the villain is. We know who the star is. We know what the basic setup is. Same thing with some of these other shows. Like, bro, the X-Men and just being a part of the actual X-Men, holy shit. Like, that is instantly so much more interesting. And you could bring in so, like, dude, the catalog of characters that they could pull in for an X-Men show, even if they just did like a younger version of the X-Men, is so fascinating. There's so many different mutants that they could pull in. They can even invent mutants and bring them in and have them have interesting powers. And I truly believe that's going to be a show that will just be way bigger. A lot more people will be into it. And I think it would be a W for Marvel overall. So there's very little that we actually know about it. And I think, look, I think Jeff has good information. Nobody else is really talking about this right now. So maybe it's just like early development. But the other thing that I was thinking about, to take it all the way back to what some of the insiders said about this story, if Marvel, right, if quote unquote, they looked at their schedule and said, this is a mess, this is not good, so we need to change it. The question is, who would they be? And I can't help but think that they would include the Russo brothers. And if the rumors of the Russo brothers helping out with the X-Men saga are true, then wouldn't this be one of those situations where the Russos come in and say, you know, you're talking a lot about, you know, planning the mutant saga and you really wanted it to all fit together. Well, what if, like, instead of this weird Nova show out in the cosmos that's tied to Annihilus, and what if instead of a sorcerer show with Wong and people using magic, what if you just had a mutant show? And you could have parts of that show interlace with the overall mutant thing that you're about to do in the mutant saga. I mean, that just seems like it passes the smell test. It's more interesting. It would actually support the canon that they are attempting to tell around there. It just seems like a way better plan, dude. So, I don't know, man. Like, I guess I have to ask the question again of, am I getting everything that I want? Because for so long, I have felt like Disney Plus and the Disney Plus shows don't really help and support the overall Marvel thing. I mean, Loki was a big one. That was great. WandaVision was cool, and like I had fun in there. But I haven't actually felt like the Disney Plus shows are important parts of the continuing story that is told throughout the MCU. And this, by the way, this will not, probably not, like, let's be real, probably won't be the main cast of X-Men actors. Probably won't. But it might include some of them. From this, from what we know right now, they're going after, like, younger actors for the X-Men, right? So they've got a younger Cyclops they're cooking up, younger Jean Grey, younger Magic. Well, we haven't heard about Magic, but younger actor for Kitty Pryde, etc., right? Well, if they're young actors and they sign big contracts with Marvel Studios, they could show up in these shows. I mean, we've literally had big A-list actors do Marvel Disney Plus shows, you know, like Tom Hiddleston, etc. So, I don't know. I mean, I think if you had because right now, like, if you look at Marvel overall, they have multiple different X books. There's usually different X teams, right? So maybe you have just really young high schoolers that are actually brought into Xavier's school for the gifted youngsters, and they're actually just doing like very high school-y stuff. But then, of course, there's adventures and, you know, finding out the new powers and all that sort of craziness. That's one option, and I think that could work. It could also be X-Force and like a lesser X-Man team that's not necessarily in the big movies, but is operating out of the mansion, operating out of the academy. I think that could be really cool. So there's all sorts of ways that this show could support what was going on in the movies and still be really interesting and really inherently cool. Like, I just know for me that you're telling me there's a young X-Men show, I'm instantly way more interested than Strange Academy, than Terror Incorporated, than Nova. And I don't even know who's on the team. Like, deadass, I would just be way more interested to follow the news about that show and to sit down and eventually watch that show. Now, I also want to put it out there, of course, and I saw some people in chat talking about this. So X-Men Evolution, but in live action, something like that. Yeah, something like that could work. I, of course, want Noah Hawley to do this show. Noah Hawley is an incredible showrunner. He did Legion, which I think is maybe one of the best Marvel shows ever made. He has a sensibility for the mutants, how to do crazy powers, really creative talent. He's about to do Alien Earth, this big show. I think it's over on Hulu, and it's all about like if the aliens took over Earth or some shit like that. So that looks really interesting and really cool. So he's in the Disney family. He's working on stuff for Disney already. He's done X-Men stuff in the past. Dude, Noah Hawley on an X-Men Academy show. Oh my God. I would lose my mother-loving mind, dude. That would be absolutely incredible. So there's a bunch of speculation there, but I just want to put it out there, man, that if this is what's going on and Marvel was like, okay, we love Wongers, but maybe that's not going to get Den of Nerds really excited. You know, we love Nova, but it's not necessarily going to get Den of Nerds to, like, you know, bust. Terror Incorporated's cool, but we don't know that. And then they were like, oh, the X-Men, that'll really get them. Thank God, man. Hell yeah. Perfect. Love it. Wonderful. Incredible. So I hope we learn more about this in the coming days, maybe in the coming weeks. I think it's weird news, dude. Like, really weird news that Marvel would basically come out and cancel several shows that they never officially talked about. But I think I'm starting to see how it makes sense. And I really hope that Jeff Snyder is correct about this because, oh, baby, 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 I needs it. I needs it in my blood, in my veins, deep down in my plums. All right, y'all ready to talk about this shit? Y'all ready to talk about Superman, Zack Snyder, and all this whack shit that's going on right now? What the fuck? So, let's talk about this, man. Look at this. And if you're just listening on the podcast, you probably feel like Daredevil right now. Because you're like, I can't see it. So it's a photo. I'll describe it to you. It's a photo of James Gunn and Zack Snyder. It's a photo filled with aura, masculinity, talent, storytelling, brilliant directing talent, visionary energy, and then there's also James Gunn in the photo. He did it again. He snuck into the photo. So you look at this photo, and if you're anything like me, you lose your mind. You know, you lose your mind a little bit. You're like, Zach, don't be that close to him. You know, it's a problem. So what the hell even is this photo, man? Well, I wish I could tell you it's just a nothing burger. And by the way, chat, let me know. Do you think it's a nothing burger? Please, somebody convince me that it's a nothing burger. Well, a couple of weird things about this photo that the internet has noticed. Number one, the floor and the walls and the door all seem to match up with other photos in the Warner Brothers offices, in the DC Studios offices, where James Gunn had assembled his writer's room, including Tom King, and they were all pitching ideas. That's number one. It's kind of weird. A lot of people looked at it. You look around, it's the same building, same structure, same everything. Kind of weird. Next thing that you have to take into account here is that all of a sudden this morning, goddamn Grace Randolph starts yapping about some goddamn DC stuff that she heard about. Okay, so let me pull this up for you. It's driving me crazy. Let me pull this up for you. Because this shit is crazy. So literally right here, okay? Grace says her, and I think I can go into her profile and show you what she said here. She says right here, there are rumblings of more big DC Studios news next week. Exciting. What the hell? Then, in direct response to Robin, who is actually one of my sock puppet accounts, says, how big? Like Snyder big? How big? Like Snyder big? And then she literally says here, all I know right now is there's some kind of private press event today, and then the news will be officially revealed early next week. Let's enjoy the surprise. I'm not going to ruin it if I find out in advance. By the way, I will absolutely ruin it if I find out in advance. So if you're out there and you want me to ruin it and you know, just let me know. I will go online and I will do what I was born to do. So just let me know. But look, seriously, let's think about this. What the hell is happening? What the hell is even happening? I mean, let's put let's put two and two together here. Let's ask ourselves a couple of questions here. Do you think that James Gunn would take a random photo with Zack Snyder and just post it out onto the internet? Yes or no, chat? Do you think that James Gunn would take a random photo with Zack Snyder and post it out there onto the internet? You know, I'm asking that question because a lot of the reaction that I saw was from Snyder fans, because they like me. You guys don't fucking like me, but they do. A lot of Snyder fans saw this photo, and their take was essentially that Gunn was aura farming and that he was trying to get Snyder fans to be like, okay, they're boys, it's cool. So maybe I should go easier on the cross-eyed, big forehead, whack-looking Superman that has underwear on the outside. Basically, like, we all thought, okay, well, he's just trying to signal that they're chill, it's fine, and whatever, right? And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just a little, like, olive branch. Maybe he literally called Zach and he was like, dude, the Snyder fans will not get off my nutsack. You want to take a photo together? And maybe Zach, because I think they actually are friendly towards each other, maybe Zach was like, hell yeah, man, let's do it. Let's take a photo. So maybe that's what it is. And maybe that's all that it is. However, we've also heard a lot of not so great stuff about the DCU recently. One of the things we heard, this is coming from Jeff Snyder, is that Gunn is having trouble finding directors that will take notes from him, and that will be willing to, like, kind of play in his sandbox and do his things. You know? And, you know, we spoke yesterday about Mangold and Swamp Thing and Clayface and Sergeant Rock and some of these things that are going on. And I guess what I'm saying is there's some possibility here that things are going so poorly behind the scenes that that Gunn actually believes that he could get Zach on a movie in the DCU and that will help him out. And let me tell y'all something. Man, let me tell y'all something. To steal the vernacular of one Rob from Comics Explained, man, son, let me tell y'all something. If James Gunn gets Zack Snyder to direct something in the DCU, he's got me. I'm going to be honest. I'm just going to put it out there. If James Gunn has actually convinced Zack Snyder to direct something or to help out with the DCU, then he has got me. I will transform from the person that has been shitting on this movie and memeing it at every possible situation and angle to promoting it and saying it's cool and fighting with people that don't understand that it's just a lens, guys. It's just a fucking lens, dude. Duh. No CGI in the shot. You don't know good cinema when you see it. The reason he's cross-eyed is because you're cross-eyed and dumb. So go away unless you like Superman. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a traitor. I'm literally going to fly the flag of James Gunn's DCU. They got me 100%, completely, 1,000%. If he does it, if he pulls this off, then I'm going to give James Gunn all the credit in the world, and I'm officially on Team James Gunn! Yeah, so, dude, what the fuck is happening right now? That's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like, what the hell is happening? Man, I saw that photo and I just thought, this motherfucker just won't let me have peace, you know? Like, I just thought to myself, like, guns in the walls, you know? Like, I can't even sleep, you know? But then the more I thought about it, I was like, what if he's cooking? the more I thought about it, I was like, wait a minute. What if he's doing it? You know? And I mean, think about some of the other things that are floating around right now. Matt Reeves. I don't know if he's being completely resistant to Robert Pattinson's Batman joining the DCU, but seems like a lot of fans think that Matt is not super down with the idea. And do you remember? Oh, man, I'm going to get myself in trouble. I'm starting to get excited. Do you remember that Jeff Snyder said that there's a possibility that Gunn takes Batman and does DCU Batman with Robert Pattinson without Matt Reeves? If that happens, there will be some fans, especially some Matt Reeves fans, that are a little upset about it. Do you know the perfect way to quell that fan frustration? Zack Snyder's back. Zack Snyder is back. And he's now the new director of Brave and the Bold with Robert Pattinson's Batman. I mean, dude! God damn it. I almost don't even want to say it. I almost don't even want to say it because I'm starting to get excited and I want it to be real. Oh my God, it would solve so many problems. Oh, it could be incredible. And also, it will be hilarious to watch all of these people that were riding Gunn's dick immediately be like, yes, you know what? Zach is a good pick. This is perfect. Thank you, Gunn. You're a genius. It'll be really awesome to watch that flip. But I can't really talk because I'm about to flip even harder. I'm about to flip so hard, I'll do a fucking 900 like Tony Hawk. I don't know, man. There's something going on. Okay, strange things are afoot at the Circle K, Ted. I'm just not sure what they mean. I'm just not sure what they mean. But in all seriousness, man, just kind of take it back. If this happens, if they get him, I'm all in. That's it. There's no more resistance. Not as far as I'm concerned. You know? So I don't know. I mean, chat, we got to talk about that. Like, what do y'all think? Like, because sure, I mean, there's a big part of me that doesn't even believe it. That seems like admitting defeat. Well, sometimes you have to retreat before you then win the next battle. I don't know, motherfucker. Listen, I'm all in if it's Zach. That's what I'm saying. I'm all in. Okay? I'm all in. There's a part of me that doesn't believe it. There's a part of me that thinks there's no goddamn way. There's no way they would do it. But the photo is in DC Studios. The photo was posted yesterday. Today, there is a top secret press event happening at DC Studios, that same building that photo was taken in yesterday. And we're going to know next week. You probably retreat a lot in Warhammer. Well, it kind of depends. It depends on the situation, you know? God, I'd love to just talk to you about Warhammer. Adam, can I just call you later? Let's just talk about Warhammer, bud. I'll talk to you about Warhammer. Sometimes you do retreat in Warhammer. It just kind of depends. Chat, what do you think, man? Like, come on. Just somebody talk some sense into me. Somebody help me out here, right? There's no way this is actually real, right? You know, I felt a responsibility to put it out there and to explain what I'm seeing and speak to the tea leaves and speak to the fact that, like, bro, like, I'm sorry, they got me. If they do this, they got me. I'm just telling you. I'm just trying to let y'all know. If they do this, they got me. I love Zack Snyder. Love Zack Snyder. You know? Yeah, it can't be, right? Can't be. I'd rather see Zack Snyder finish his DC story on Netflix. So that's kind of an interesting comment. You know, I guess there is technically the possibility that it's going to be Elseworld stuff, but that just doesn't feel right. Like, look, if I'm Gunn, right? Zack Snyder is directing the Rey movie. They got me. Hey, Star Wars Sith, they got me. I'm all in on Rey, man. What do we got? 6 Rey movies on the way? Why not 3 more? Let's make it 9. So, if I'm Gunn, there's no way I'm letting Zach finish his shit. Period. Like, and even I acknowledge that that's not a good move. Because you do that, right? Like, first of all, it feels like you ripped the Band-Aid off, put it back on, ripped it off. But also, you're literally going to just have, like, another Batman, another Superman, all this other stuff happening at the same time you're trying to build up your stuff. It doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense. You can't do that. But you could bring Zach in to do the new Batman movie. Like, I'm going to be real, man. Like, he has, especially if it's a super collaborative effort within an expanded universe. I mean, Zach understands that shit. He did that shit. You know the reason that Wonder Woman, the first movie, you want to know why that movie was lit? Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder and his team collaborating with Patty Jenkins and her team. Zach was doing that while he was shooting shit. Zach was very, very collaborative with David Ayers. They shot the scene with the Flash that's in Batman v Superman on the set of the Suicide Squad. They were all tight. They were all cool. They were dealing it. Dude, Zach knows how to live in that world. He knows what the collaborative effort is like. And honestly, dude, I know not a lot of y'all agree. He is a visionary, dude. Like, look, Rebel Moon broke my fucking heart. I thought it was going to be the next Star Wars. I thought it would be super hyped up. But even within that, Zach is a visual genius. Like, he definitely understands character, story, photography. I mean, dude. Holy. So I just think if you actually brought Zach on to help you create something, and I don't know, like maybe it's not Batman, maybe it's something else, or maybe Zach's just helping to write. Maybe it has nothing to do with Zach. I have no idea. But I'm just saying to you, I honestly think there's gold in them hills, and I think it would be great. What about Matt Reeves? I mean, that's an interesting question, but like, here's the thing. If Matt doesn't want to play ball and Gunn's about to take Pattinson from him anyways, he needs some juice for the fans. He needs to be able to leverage that because otherwise it's just bad news. Like, a lot of us will still be like interested in whatnot, but it just feels bad because Matt has been a good soldier. Matt's trying all this stuff. It's really his baby. It would just be difficult to be like, oh yeah, we're taking Pattinson away from Matt and we're going to give it to Andy Muschietti. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't feel good. But if it's Zach, I think that feels better. Yeah, man. It's, look, maybe, and here's the thing that's crazy, too. We're going to find out really soon. Guys, it's Friday, okay? Did you all know that, by the way? It's Friday. It's Friday. So we're going to find out literally in 3-4 days. That's how that works. Early next week is 3 to 4 days away. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out together. And I don't know. We'll see what my reaction is. I'm already getting way too excited, way too hyped up. It's probably nothing even close to what I'm thinking about. But I still wanted to just bring it to your attention. Okay, I got a couple rapid fire pieces of info for you here, okay? Couple rapid fire pieces, and then we'll get into Q&A. Check this shit out. This right here, you know what this is? This is the Avengers Doomsday film sets. Look at these massive freaking buildings. And I don't even know, these are in London. I don't think these are the cardigan sheds, but these are insanely large buildings. I have them pulled up on the screen for you right now. And right now, literally as I'm speaking to you, inside these massive buildings are probably Doctor Doom costumes, Doctor Doom sets, Doctor Doom henchmen, all kinds of crazy, insane shit. Dude, if I could somehow get in there right now and just do a little tour, and just look around at like some of the sets, some of the costumes, some of the props, guys, I would legit be losing it right now. I would be so hyped up if I could get in there and see what's going on right now. But obviously I can't. But what I can do is share on social media and share with you guys live right now that it's real. And within these buildings right now hold maybe some of the greatest mysteries and secrets that Marvel Studios has ever kept from us. We're all fascinated with what's going to be happening in Secret Wars. What is the deal with RDJ Doctor Doom? The answers, or at least some of them, are in these fucking buildings right now. I wonder if the people that are like even working in these buildings fully understand what a big deal this is. And holy shit, man. I'm just excited. I'm excited that it's actually happening. And also, if you're in that area, reach out. Reach out to me if you're in this area. If you can sneak in there, or if you're a janitor, please. I need to see the Doom. I need to see the Doom, baby. Okay, one more thing. One more little rapid fire piece of information. Check this shit out here. This is from a new Disney Plus promo. And it shows right here the slice of Daredevil's helmet being held by Kingpin. How do I contact you? Email me, thedenofnerds@gmail.com. Email me. So check this out. You see right here, this is the helmet. One of the horns has been sliced off and it looks like a D. It's all cool and stuff. And then we have this shot here. And bro, if Fisk is actually keeping the broken horn from the Daredevil costume as a trophy or a souvenir, that is so badass. Because what we think is happening in these scenes is during the moments, maybe after the inauguration of Mayor Fisk or whatever, there's a big conflict at the bar where Foggy, Karen, and Matt always go to. And Bullseye is going to get in there, and there's going to be a massive fight with Bullseye and Daredevil. That's where the horn gets sliced off. We've seen some of the behind-the-scenes footage where they sort of marked it with like blue tape for visual effects and stuff. And this is probably leading to either the death or the wounding of either Foggy, Karen, or both, which is probably the thing that Daredevil mentions in the trailer as when the lines were crossed. So just think about this, right? If the lines were crossed during this evening and Matt is forced to work with Wilson Fisk, and yet Wilson Fisk is literally keeping the horn as a souvenir from that night, the thing that absolutely destroyed Matt. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God. That's some drama. That's a great way to show that Kingpin is still Kingpin, despite everything that he's doing as far as mayor and all of the new signaling that he's a changed man. If he's holding that horn, I think that's awesome, man. 2 weeks away, 2 Tuesdays from now, Daredevil Born Again, baby. Watch parties are back. Marvel's back. The MCU is saved. Peak returns. And all of those different things. So I'm so excited. Okay. Let us now get into the Q's and the A's, the questions and answers here. We obviously went over a lot of stuff today on the stream. All the stuff about like the Nova show, Strange Academy, Terror Inc., and then the rumors about the X-Men show. Very interesting. Wait, Swordsman's in Daredevil Born Again? That's crazy. That's kind of a new thing. That's wild. And then we talked a little bit about the Zack Snyder, James Gunn thing, the DCU news that's going to be dropping next week. So, guys, holy, there's a lot of crazy shit out there. A lot of crazy shit out there in the news. You know what I mean? So let's break into the Q&A. And I also want to warn People that are listening on the podcast, I know I seem like a jolly guy, really nice, really chill, and it's always really peaceful. But now we're about to enter the questions and the answers portion of the stream, where I open myself up to the people in the chat and the chaos that comes with it. And so my apologies if I lose my goddamn mind, crash out, and start swearing at the people in the chat. If you don't want to hear any of that stuff, you don't have to listen to the Q&A portion. But I do have to say, the Q&A portion of these podcasts and of these live streams tends to be where some of the juiciest and most fun content comes out. With that said, let's get into the Q&A. First in today is Rossi, who says, what with Zack Snyder and James Gunn? James Gunn is a super genius. Gunn greater than Lucas. Much love. Okay, we're going to call it there. No more Q&A. Really appreciate it. It's been real. It's good times. I'll see you guys later. All right, we'll keep going, but jeez. Rossi! See what I mean? People on the podcast, do you see what I mean? They're trying to get me already. Javier Mendez says, much love. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Shalomi Leaner. Interesting name. Says, hey, I just finished the Century comic you recommended last week, and now I'm reading the New Avengers. What are some good comics with the OG X-Men with Iceman as the main character? Well, first of all, that's cool. Thanks for the 10 spot. I'm glad you're liking the comics. As far as comics with the X-Men and Bobby, I believe Bobby was a big part of Astonishing X-Men, although I'm kind of blanking on that. And then I think Bobby was a big part of when Bendis was doing the X-Men, because I think that's around the time where Bobby came out of the closet as a gay man. And I think they dealt with that because this was also when the younger version of Bobby came into the present and he wasn't gay. And it's like a whole thing. So I think those are the times when Bobby was a big part of the X-Men. But yeah, I don't really know for sure. I will say that those are both X-Men runs that I want to revisit before we get to the MCU version of the X-Men. I don't know. Chat, do you know any great X-Men runs where when Bobby was, when Iceman was like the lead of the X-Men? I don't know that he's ever been like the leader of the X-Men. Yeah, I don't know. Joshua says, looking forward to more RDJ Doom material. Oh, man, dude, I'm cooking on some RDJ stuff. I was writing 2 different scripts yesterday. Actually, I was writing 3 different scripts yesterday. 2 of them are directly RDJ Dr. Doom related, and I'm very excited to make those videos. Yeah. Yesterday, the stream was crazy. I got really triggered, but it also made me want to get out there and research and write scripts and just kind of speak more about the Doctor Doom thing. So it's going to be good. John Solo says, Josh, if Doom isn't good, you got to make a James Gunn apology video. Sure, I will definitely do that. I mean, look, if they botch Doctor Doom, nobody will be more disappointed than me. Like, there won't be anybody else that is as upset as I will be if that happens. I will be the most upset. And you will have to hear about it. So just think about that. Also, so glad they finally got Daredevil swinging like Spider-Man. My life is complete. Now, love you, XOXO. Yeah, for sure. That's going to be happening in the Deadpool show and also in Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. And you know what else, too? Because we watched the other day, well, I say the other day, but it was months ago now. We watched the Affleck Daredevil movie. And one of the things I really liked about that movie was his web swinging. Like, it was pretty good. The Dark Jedi, appreciate you for a $1 holla. Thank you. Rossi with the sticker, thank you. Jacob Stowe says, it's time for a new song. The Russo's back and they're gonna save Marvel. Hey now, the Russo's back. I love that song. Hey, I love that song, man. The Dark Jedi says, any tips to make it on YouTube like you? Much love, bro. Hey, appreciate you, man. I will say this. If you really want it and you become obsessed with it, then there is an entire section of YouTube itself that is dedicated to getting better and learning more about YouTube. So there's a ton of these channels out there. I have a whole bunch of them I really like. I really like Roberto Blake. I think Roberto Blake's brilliant in the space. Patty Galloway is brilliant in the space. Sean Channel, really, really brilliant. Daryl Eves, absolutely brilliant. They're like, if you were basically like, look, I'm not trying to be rude, but you're coming in to a nerdy YouTuber stream and asking them how to be successful on YouTube. When if you would have just typed that into the search bar of YouTube itself, you would be introduced to a whole world of content creators that will literally take hours to explain to you what you need to do. So go in that direction. Shelf Presence says, Strange Academy was an animated show. Yes. Live? No. Okay, yeah, I get that. I understand it. I'm still going to have to go with no. Nick Gallo with a 10 spot. Says, yesterday, I never questioned your knowledge of the MCU. I said I liked your take, but it's a lot of steps in a little time. The story abruptly changed, Kang to Doom. You reacted like CTE hit you in the face. Yeah, like, I mean, that's true. Did I play football in high school at a time when there weren't safety concerns and we just cracked skulls? Yes. Do I have CTE? Probably. I don't know. Me and AB, right? You know, I think CTE is cool these days, and I can just blame it on the CTE. Now, having said that, as far as, yesterday and the interaction and the whole thing with Doom, I thought about it, and I think this is what it is, man. Like, I get where you guys are at with it, and a lot of people are questioning it, thinking it's lame, and the more I thought about it and the more I looked at, like, the responses to the tweet, I think I actually do understand where people are at. The issue that I have, and I think yesterday, frankly, like, I was just not in the mood. Like, I know that seems crazy, but, like, I was literally just not in the mood to sit there and argue with everybody about RDJ Dr. Doom. And I think I tried to, like, take a shortcut and basically say, like, we don't have to argue about this because I've been doing this for 7 years and I know what I'm talking about. And that's not fair, right? Because that's, like, so dismissive and elitist, and it's not a good vibe. But I still feel how I feel about it, and I'll try to take better care in how I explain it and how I communicate it, but it just comes down to this. The perception, I think, from many fans is that this is super gimmicky or a total and complete ass pull with switching to Doctor Doom, okay? And so think about it this way, because I actually was working on a script. I don't want to give away everything that I wrote yesterday, because I'm gonna make some, like, really good fucking videos about this, because look, it's something that people really care about. So I think I'll be able to take that interest and make some really good content about it. But here's what I'll say right now in this moment. In order for you to feel the way that you do about it, you would have to think that Robert Downey Jr., Kevin Feige, the Russo brothers, and one of the McFeelys, you'd have to believe that all of those guys were willing to sort of spit on or shit on the legacy of what they all did together within the Infinity Saga. And the main thing that I would say to you is, in all of my time studying these individuals, reporting on what these individuals do, there is not a single thing that indicates to me that any of those guys would be willing to do that. Especially RDJ. RDJ is the big X factor because he doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the legacy. He would only do it if it interested him. Like, even before the Doom stuff, right? There are interviews with Downey talking about an MCU return, talking about all of that. There's that famous Rogan where he says, I wouldn't feel cheap if I just put the jersey back on. So Robert was very resistant to the idea of just returning, right? So, like, if you're saying to me that you think this thing lacks all the qualities that make things good, then you'd have to make sense in your own mind with how and why all of those individuals I just mentioned would be willing to shit on all the things they did that were great in order to, like, what, have a pop for the next Avengers movie? Like, brother, I don't think that's what's happening. But I also acknowledge that, like, from where we're standing, sure, you could think that. And maybe you think Marvel got so desperate that they literally are willing to do that, to throw it all away, to shit on the legacy and to just do it. But RDJ's the X Factor. He would never do that. So then you have to ask yourself, well, what made him say yes then? Right? More to come on that exact question. Justin Yell says, picked up the Daily Bugle Lego set this week. Stoked to build it. Daredevil is about to slap all of our mamas. About to hit 1 year. Let's go. Nerd Vengers for life. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man. I truly think that Daredevil is about to save the MCU. And in fact, I have a big video coming out about it. 5 different reasons it's going to save the MCU. So check that out. Joshua says, a Nova show with a good story and analysis. Annihilus, maybe, after Secret Wars? Yeah, I think it's very possible that Nova still comes out later on. And it might even follow this model that they've been building already. But I also wouldn't mind if they didn't. Like, frankly, like, I totally get it. Like, Brandon Davis is going to be crushed. A lot of people are going to be crushed because they like Nova. But I'm just telling you, like, as somebody that wants to protect the brand, as somebody that just, like, as a pundit that, like, sees what's going on, no, fuck that. Don't do that shit. Do X-Men. Yeah, that's the move. Zach says, best way for MCU to popularize lesser characters. Put them in shows or movies with more popular characters. I mean, this isn't rocket science. That's what they do in comics. Why did Captain Marvel get $1 billion? Because it was a book that felt like a tie-in that was between 2 of the biggest movies of all fucking time as Avengers films. It had Sam Jackson. It had the Skrulls for the first time ever. Like, how do you make lesser popular characters more popular? Stick them in movies with more popular characters and allow them to do dope shit. That's it. All the shows till Secret Wars need to be about the multiverse, in my opinion. I don't know that I agree with that. I just think it's weird to put all this production, all this time into stuff like Strange Academy, where it's like, think about it. How are you even going to fit Strange Academy in with Doomsday and Secret Wars? How are you going to fit that in to the Mutant Saga? Like, it just feels weird. So I don't know. It just doesn't seem like that's good programming. Jay Levine, appreciate the 10, says, hey, Josh, I love the channel. Been a member for 8 months. Have you talked about the Spider-Man cartoon and the finale? I love what they did, and I'm excited for more. You know, I'm not caught up on Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I'll catch up this weekend. And, dude, I'll tell you this, though. I love that show. I think that show is awesome. I haven't quite felt like the draw to, like, finish it immediately or whatever. But a lot of you guys keep saying that it's really cool and that the ending's really cool. So that's nice. That makes me want to go finish it more. So I'll probably finish it this weekend. And I'll probably gush about it on Monday, man, because I got to tell you, I love some Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. That's a good show. Chris says with a 10 spot, Marvel needs to proceed with intent and purpose with all of their new projects. Be proactive, tying into the comics to get hype with characters like they are doing with One World Under Doom. Yeah, 100%, exactly. By the way, here's the thing, right? Why is Hollywood making comic book movies at all? Does anybody know the answer to that? Why is Hollywood making comic book shit at all in any way? Why are they doing it? Anybody know? It's because of the IP. Okay, the intellectual property, the draw to the Marvel brand, which has been created over 50 plus years, video games, movies, books, all these different things, right? That's what it is. Money, yeah, but it's built. It's IP. There's interest in the IP. So there are certain Marvel, or rather, there are certain movies they make that don't have an inherent draw. But if you put a comic book character up there, it creates draw, IP draw. So then, why then do you take the most valuable IP, and I mean that literally? Do you know why Marvel Studios could not do the X-Men when they first started their studio? In 2008, when they made Iron Man, do you know why they had to make Iron Man and not X-Men? Anybody know? Bueller? Anybody? Bueller? It was because the license to X-Men had already been sold. It was sold to Fox in the 90s so that they could not go bankrupt. Because when they went to go sell the IP, not all even Marvel IP, is created equally. Do you know that? Not all IP is created equally. Like, if you were going to tell me, what's the price of the Miss Marvel IP? I would be like 50 cents. What's the price of the X-Men IP? 50 billion. You understand? So think about it. X-Men is one of the most valuable things. That's why they sold it off for the highest price. That's why they couldn't afford to buy the rights back from Fox when they started their studio. Yeah, we all know that shit. So then extend that into what we're talking about with the shows. Strange Academy cannot compete with an X-Men show. Nova cannot compete with an X-Men show. Terror Incorporated cannot compete with an X-Men show. X-Men is valuable IP. That's the only reason that you're even making these goddamn movies in the first place. It's the only reason you couldn't make any X-Men stuff when you first started your studio in 2008. And oh, by the way, it's a big part of the reason that Disney did an $87 billion deal to acquire the IP rights of Fox-held things, including the X-Men. So what the fuck are we doing here? Get your thumb out of your ass and make some X-Men shit. Holy! Anyway, Robin H says, rumors of older teen / and or young adult X-Men team with older Wolverine and maybe Storm sounds a lot like X-Men Evolution. Yeah, it could be. I actually think we might get 2 Wolverines. We'll see. Joshua, I appreciate it. I went over that question while we were talking about it. Rossi says, Snyder hasn't done anything good in several years. Who cares? # Rebel Moon. I think a lot of people care, brother. Let's see here. Crazy Eights says, so Zach is going to make a movie with 35 minutes of slow-mo and be trash, and then everyone is going to say, wait for the director's cut? # Rebel Moon. God damn it, chat. I know you're just trying to test me, and I will pass the test by failing you. Callisto says, putting aside how you feel about the Batman, what if you're Matt Reeves? You had a vision for your story, and you were asked to bring in another director. How would you approach it? Do you collaborate? It's a good question. I mean, it would kind of depend. I think, so if I were Matt Reeves, and I had actually spent so much time like building that thing up and trying to make that thing, yeah, I'd probably wouldn't want to play with Gunn. For sure. I'd probably be like, what are we talking about, dude? Like, my shit's successful. Penguin's successful. The Batman's successful. What do you mean, Mr. Gunn? You know? So I'd probably not want to play nice. It's a good question. Taylor White says, been too busy to catch lives with the new promotion. Oh, that's awesome, man. Always miss your love. You always miss you, love takes, and meltdowns. Nerd Ventures for life. Oh, hell yeah. Well, I'm glad that the new gig is good, though. You know, supporting the fam and whatnot. Carl says, so Gunn is back? Snyder hasn't been good since Man of Steel. God damn it. Just saying, Noah Hawley should do Warhammer. Ooh, Noah Hawley on some Warhammer. Now you're talking my language. That's cool, man. I would like that. Snyder's always been good. They just let him go too crazy with Rebel Moon, you know? There was nobody there to be like, yo, don't do that. Buffalo Brent says, happy to hear your love for X-Men Evolution will be filled with Academy. Much love. Oh, I think that show sucks ass, but I'm down with the model, though. I'm down with the model. Matt says, hey, Josh, what do you think of Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? I love the show, especially the last few episodes. Would love to hear your take. I think it's fan-freaking-tastic. I'm behind on it. Unfortunately, I'm not current on the show, but I love it. What I've watched so far, I thought was absolute fire. So, yeah, I'm going to finish it up. It's good shit. Royded Roshi says, what's up, baby cakes? What? Do you think we'll ever get a proper adaptation of House of X and Power of X? No. Not anytime soon, anyway. I mean, look, that shit was so weird and out there that even Marvel was like, I don't know. Like the comics, I mean. They didn't even really follow through on that. Matthew says, I want to salute the person who triggered Josh yesterday. Thank you, sir. Ranch Ventures in Unity for all that. How dare you? Rashi says, we heart you because of your CTE. Never change. Oh, thanks, Rossi. That's so sweet. CC Ryder says, when my wait, what the hell? It just disappeared. Hang on. Gotta pull it back up. Gotta pull it back up. When my staff was being lazy or goofing off, I would say, over there sitting in your thumb, get back to work. LOL. 36 months. Let's go. Yeah, man. I used to hear that expression back in the day a lot, you know? I don't think they say it much anymore because we got super soft as a society. Have you ever met Rossi in person? He is our hero. I have not, but I will. I will. We're going to rent out a movie theater for Secret Wars. We might even rent out a theater for Doomsday. And I am going to have somebody sitting next to me, somebody sitting next to me, and then Rossi will be tied up and gagged somewhere in the theater. So I think at that point I will meet him. You know? Yeah, it's going to be cool, man. It's going to be chill. It's going to be chill, man. What's going on, Twitch? You guys got anything to say today? If by chance Doomsday and Secret Wars don't perform well or aren't really received well, does Feige step down? I mean, at that point, yeah, I would say you got to consider it. Josh, I just completed the Spider-Man show, and it's fire. Says Fearsome Halo 06. Ooh, okay. Maybe I'll have to give it a shot. Maybe I'll have to give it a shot, huh? Oh, man. I'm so curious about this Zack Snyder thing, man. What the hell is going on? Zack Snyder, James Gunn, what the hell is going on? Shockwave Lab says DC Comics is bringing out an absolute Flash comic run where Wally West was the first Flash and nobody came before him. Yeah, I heard about that. Seems kind of cool. Josh, is Star Wars back? Hell no. DC Comics is bringing out an... Oh, wait, I already read that. Yeah, I want to check out the Absolute line. Man, I'm so behind on my comics. The news about the new Batman with Matt Fraction seems really cool. I'm excited, dude. I think you mean tied up and gagged in your hotel room. Pause. LOL. What? Don't you want to see the movie? I thought you wanted to see the movie, man. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine getting tied up and gagged and Brave New World starts rolling. No! Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. I don't like that. Any other questions, comments, concerns, ladies and gentlemen? Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here? I'm going to hang for a little bit more, and then I'm going to get on out of here because I'm hungry. I'm hungry, and I got to work on those Doctor Doom videos. I got to get you guys all to be understanding how good Doctor Doom's going to be. So good. What the hell? Justin, you don't say that. Oh, and also, where's my goddamn Warhammer painting stream? Until we get more stuff handled here, I cannot promise any extra streams. I just can't do it. I told Elisa I'm not going to do it anymore. I really wanted to do that painting stream, but look, I work a lot, and I got to make sure that the family's taken care of and everybody's chill. So, unfortunately, no extra stuff for a while. But we will be doing that watch party for Daredevil. Ooh, I'm excited for that shit. So that's going to be cool. And we'll keep on rocking in the free world. Braden says, you see any Brave New World box office drop-off predictions this weekend? Only what we talked about yesterday, and it seems like it's going to aiming around 30 million, which is like a 70% drop-off. We'll see what that actually equates to. Jordan Martinez says, I need the James Gunn Superman #1 cover. Dude, this dude just can't help himself, huh? Like, he always has to just insert himself. You know? Like, what's he doing there? Like, what's he doing there? I don't understand that. Let's see here. Chris says, Josh, in the Midwest, but for a chance to hang out, I'm all in for Secret Wars screening. Nerd Vengeance for life, Den of Gym Nerds. Oh, hell yeah, man. Now, it's going to be a good time. We'll give you guys plenty of time to plan for that. We'll make it a cool event. We'll figure it out. It's going to be really cool. Marvel Rival stream tonight. Again, I would love to. I cannot promise any extra streams. Not for a while. Not for like several months. You know? So once we get things chilled, you know, I mean, we still got a newborn and a toddler. You know, I got to help out. So unfortunately, I cannot be promising any extra streams anytime soon. Other than the watch parties. Watch parties will be lit. Other than that, we got to just kind of keep on doing what we're doing. But I thought this was actually a really fun week of news. Like, I thought it was really cool. You know, sure, some of it was a little bit depressing because we had to talk about Brave New World and, you know, kind of what a bummer that's looking to be. We'll know more about that after the second weekend. I remember we talked about the future for Marvel. Daredevil kind of got hyped up, excited again. That was really fun. You know, we talked about some news yesterday, Spider-Man 4 changes, big crazy stuff like that. And obviously got really triggered about our DJ's Doctor Doom. And then today, we're talking about shows going away, X-Men shows being created, Zack Snyder and James Gunn. Like, dude, it's kind of fun. That's kind of a fun week of news and content, you know? Gas Ganos Dentist says, Sam Cap is combo of Falcon Cap and Ant-Man, a melting pot just like the USA. Massive missed opportunity to bring us all together. I guess so, brother. I guess they missed that opportunity. Matt says, when did you get into weightlifting? Trying to get into it myself. Well, I played sports in high school, so I lifted when I played football and just kind of kept with it. I never really committed to it or like learned any new shit for years and years and years. I was just lifting the way I did in high school and not even really that consistently. But over the past year, I've gotten more serious in the gym, and it took kind of like learning more about different kind of training and what some of the new science says about training. And so I've adjusted my training a little bit, and I've seen some pretty good gains. And I feel good lifting. I mean, honestly, I wish I had more time to lift. Frankly, I've been so busy. I haven't been to the gym a ton this week, so it kind of sucks. But yeah, I guess my advice for the gym, man, honestly, is like you just got to get in there and build the habit. It will be tough and it will be like weird and painful, but if you stick with it and you start to enjoy the process, like I think it's only going to happen if you enjoy the process. So you got to like kind of like the pump. And if you start to like how your body starts changing, if you like what that looks like, oh, it's going to be huge. Because then you'll be able to like look at yourself in the mirror and feel good about your progress. That's a really important part of keeping going with any particular habit or anything that you work on, man. You got to celebrate your wins. I think people do not celebrate their wins enough, even the little ones. Are the peptides helping with that? Yeah, so the peptides that I'm on are mostly for like joint injuries and stuff like that. And frankly, like right now, they're not doing too much because I'm not really like injured. And I had an injury in my right ankle, which is pretty much like completely cleared up now. I'm considering experimenting with some other peptides like throughout the year and seeing what they do. But for now, honestly, the craziest thing is like, it's sort of lame to say, but I think it's actually true. The thing that's going to help me out the most right now is consistency, diet, and sleep. It's so fucking lame, dude. Like you go do all these things and you research all this stuff, and then ultimately you realize there's no pill or there's nothing that you can inject that's gonna beat consistency, diet, and sleep. Like it's wild how important that shit is. And if you don't have that, I mean, I guess if you were like way outside of the physiological range of like supplements, like if you were doing crazy anabolics, you might actually still be able to make progress. But for the most part, the human body is not designed to do that. You need the fuel and you need the sleep to build the hormones and actually rebuild the muscle. It's crazy. Like if you just sat there and like took steroids or like took peptides and just sat there and didn't do anything, like your ass ain't getting jacked. Maybe eventually, maybe in the next couple of years, we'll have like AI robots that can make you just look like fucking Superman with like no effort whatsoever. Maybe that's coming, but for now, that's not how that shit works. James Watkins to direct Clayface now. Oh. Is that big news? Big Nemesis said, watched Cap 4 last night. Very, 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 very mid. Yeah, I really didn't like it, man. I really didn't like it. You know, maybe I'll give it a shot later, like when it comes to streaming or whatever, but I really didn't like it, man. What? That's crazy, Kendall. He might have been on some wild shit, like some Trent bologna sandwiches or something like that. Steve McT says, announcing canceled shows that were never announced seems like signaling to the sweaties good things to come. RDJ gonna crush being Doom. I mean, that's Steve. You're kind of speaking my language here. Like that was one of my takes. Was like, bro, like I feel like this is aimed directly at people like us. And honestly, like, you know, I gave my take on it or whatever, but I think it's good. I think it's a W. I think this is a good direction. Like, I frankly do not care if we ever get a Nova show. Like, I know people like Nova. I will literally never care if we never got a Nova show. But I'll be really fucking mad if we don't get really cool shows that everybody likes, that feels like we're actually following the adventure again. That's what it should have been. And that's what it should have been in phase 4. And hopefully that's what's going to be in phase, 7 for the X-Men? But yeah, should be cool. Yeah. Doug Ditch says, just want to say thanks committing to the podcast. I really appreciate having that option to keep up with your content. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I haven't really done much to grow the podcast yet, but at the very least, I now have the workflow of like how to get it uploaded. And then there's the video podcast version, which is up on Spotify. And so I've figured out how to do all of that. In the next couple of weeks and in the next couple of months, we're going to be making improvements to the content. But right now, at the very least, I have the workflow figured out. So I got the podcast up there. Y'all can watch it. You can listen to it. And I think that's a good vibe. We'll keep going. And I hope to make some improvements to all the content so that it's, you know, just as fun, just a little bit maybe more entertaining and stuff like that. You see the Cap 4 pitch meeting? I did not see the Cap 4 pitch meeting. I tell you what, let me sign off for the podcast's sake, and then we can watch the pitch meeting, and then we're going to get out of here, okay? If you're listening to the podcast, I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back at it on Monday. We'll probably be taking a look at the second weekend for the Captain America Brave New World movie. What does that fall off look like? And then on Monday, we are apparently supposed to get that crazy DCU news. Does it have something to do with Zack Snyder? We're going to find out, and we're going to find out together. As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, cool. We're out of podcast land. Let me pull this up. How was that? Was that a good outro? Did I feel good? We're out of podcast land, baby. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh man, here we go, huh?
So, you have a new Captain America movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. So the last time we saw Sam Wilson was in his Disney Plus show, and he solved everything by telling a senator to do better. Oh yeah, that was so iconic, the way he was like, "You're not very good at your job." Is he gonna save the day with a speech to a politician in this one too? Well, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, he totally is. Oh my god, this is why people watch superhero projects. Yeah.
I love that he's starting with this point, man. And you know, oh god damn it. Now I have to do a whole hour. I got to do a whole hour about this. I love Ryan George. Okay? Now the reason you make this point and the reason you use humor to defuse the situation is because it's such a brilliant way to get the point across. Brother, I do not watch Captain America movies for Sam Wilson to point a finger at a senator and say do better. I do not watch Captain America to watch him do goddamn speeches talking about real world effects, this, that, second, the third. Kumbaya fucking ya. I hate it. I hate it. And by the way, Anthony Mackie wrote that speech. Anthony Mackie wrote that speech. And I remember Marvel Studios came out after Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And they were like, dude, it's so cool. Fucking Anthony Mackie wrote that shit. Isn't that cool? No, it's not cool. It sucks ass. And so does Anthony Mackie at writing. God damn it. We should have never let that shit go. We should have. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, so tell me about this thing. Well, what if I told you that part of the plot revolves around mining rights? I would scream. Part of the plot revolves around mining rights. Oh my god, what kind of mining rights? Well, remember in the Eternals there was a giant celestial head that popped out of the earth and then we never spoke about it again? Introducing concepts and characters and not referencing them again is part of the brand now. Right, well I figure we start tying up some of these loose ends, so turns out the celestial head is full of adamantium. That's the stuff Wolverine uses to stab people.
Yeah.
It is. So the president of the United States freaking wants a treaty about this stuff. And who's the president? Thaddeus Ross, remember him? Yeah, kinda. And also remember Dr. Samuel Stearns from The Incredible Hulk almost 20 years ago? Oh yeah, we teased something about him back in the day, didn't we? We did, and in this movie, we're gonna pay it off. Let the tease ripen for a couple of decades, sure. Yeah, and so President Ross is a little sad because he's now estranged from his daughter Betty Ross. Remember her from The Incredible Hulk almost 20 years ago? Wait, is this a Captain America sequel or an Incredible Hulk sequel? Well, sir, that's none of your business. What? So anyway, Captain America and Falcon get invited to this summit by the president, and they bring that old super soldier Isaiah Bradley with them. Okay. But then during the summit, he and a couple of other people get mind controlled and try to kill the president. Oh no, how'd they get mind controlled? Well,
you know, I haven't really said this a lot publicly because I'm actually trying to be like super chill and I don't want to get into like really controversial concepts or ideas. But like, isn't it just crazy that they have this incredible actor in Carl Lumbly? And the entire character in the performance is meant to show you like racial inequality and how this group of people is just inherently considered less than. And then instead of having Isaiah Bradley like whoop some ass and be Captain America, they have him be a criminal and get arrested, and he's in jail for like the whole movie. And to me, this is such a wild thing where it's like, you know, I don't know how much just the optics of that are like bad. You know what I mean? Like, why not have Isaiah Bradley like be Black Captain America and be fucking awesome? Why does he have to be in jail? I don't know.
Turns out Stearns has a big old scrotum brain now because he was exposed to Bruce Banner's blood in The Incredible Hulk almost 20 years ago. Did you say scrotum brain? And he's so smart, he can do all kinds of things, like calculate probabilities real good. Oh, so he's like always right about the things that are going to happen? Rarely, if ever. Oh, okay. So anyway, Isaiah Bradley gets arrested, and this former Black Widow, who's the head of Ross's security, she stops the other mind control people.
She's horrible, dude. She's so horrible in this movie. Oh, my God.
Oh, that's cool. I'm going to cast someone distractingly small to play her. Great.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Why? So then what happens? Well, Sam starts...
So, you know what's funny? Is like, we were talking about this on Discord, too. Bro, she's awful. She's so bad in the movie. And it's just like a head scratcher as to like why she's in the movie, why she didn't get cut. And I have this theory that she's literally in the movie because she has even less aura than Anthony Mackie. She's smaller and like looks, I mean, kind of strange. Like, no offense to the actress or whatever, but look a little strange. And she's this like weirdly dainty, auraless person. And I almost feel like she was brought into the movie just to make Sam look a little cooler, more heroic, and have more aura.
To investigate, and he gets ambushed by Sidewinder from the Serpent Society, who he had a little run-in with earlier in the movie. Okay. So then there's gonna be this cool action scene where it's gonna be like, oh no, is Captain America gonna be able to beat up this guy in his mid-60s? Is he? He is. Beating up senior citizens is tight. So through that guy, they find out about this old black site where they find old scrotum brain Samuel Stearns. Please stop saying that. Yeah, and so it turns out that President Ross had like fully blamed the events of the Incredible Hulk almost 20 years ago on Stearns and kept him imprisoned here. Why? Well, he made him use his intelligence to help make him president, and then he said he'd pardon him, but he totally didn't. Rude. Yeah, and so Stearns is pretty upset about that and wants to sabotage him. Kinda understandable. So Stearns mind controls some fighter pilots and creates a big old conflict with Japan around the Celestial Island. Uh-oh. So Captain America surfs on a missile and saves the day, but Falcon gets hurt. Oh. Yeah, because I don't really want him in the third act of the movie. Why not? Well, because this is a Captain America movie. It's his journey. He's the one who has to be present while Thaddeus Ross has a character arc. Got it. But before that third act...
That's actually a good way to say it. He's just present. And Ross has the arc. Bro, Sam hasn't had anything resembling an arc since they handed him that shield. And I don't know. Like, is that part of the rules? Like, you get the Captain America shield and you just can't advance as a character anymore? You have to occupy this weird, stoic, heroic place that you didn't actually get to on your own? So weird.
Bucky Barnes is gonna show up. Oh boy, they're gonna team up again? No, he just gives Sam a little pep talk and leaves. He's gotta go. Oh, he's not gonna help out. No, he's busy. He's got other stuff to do. Okay. So anyway, then there's gonna be this big reveal that Stearns was actually giving Ross little doses of gamma radiation through these heart pills he was making for him. And what does that mean? It means that the frickin' president's gonna turn into frickin' Red Hulk. Oh, there's our trailer right there. Wait, no. There's our poster. There's our marketing. Well, this whole movie's kind of leading up to that as a big reveal. Big Red Hulk. Oh boy, that's a movie people want to see. That really takes the wind out of my air sails. Hulk smash! Okay, so anyway, all the Secret Service agents, they start shooting at the Hulk, but that's not doing anything. They just immediately start firing at the president. They do. Huh. So now Captain America starts fighting him, and he brings them over to these cherry blossoms where Ross said he used to go with his daughter. Okay.
Yo, that is a good point. I guess I never even really considered that. Like, the president turns into the Hulk, and instead of being like, Mr. President, are you okay? They literally just start fucking shooting him.
He tries to talk
It's such an American thing to do, though.
Him down, but it doesn't work. He is simply too angry and hulky. Yikes.
They should have let Harrison Ford full-ass talk during that moment, man. They could have delivered some cold-ass lines. You know, like, not every American voted for me, but every American's about to get smashed by me or some shit, you know?
Gonna be tough to beat him now. Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yeah, because see, they're gonna fight a little bit, and then Sam's gonna talk him down. Didn't he just try that? Well, yeah, but this time it works. Why? Because. Well, okay then. So then he resigns as president and voluntarily puts himself inside that big raft prison, and his daughter's gonna show up to visit him. Well, if we're gonna have a Betty Ross cameo, why not have her be the one to show up at the cherry blossoms and have that be the reason the speech works this time? Hey, shut up and so Stearns.
Hey, shut
yeah,
up.
what happened with Stearns? How do they stop him? Oh, he turned himself in. He's all done. Oh, he did? Yeah, movie's done, so he stopped trying to do stuff. Well, that's nice of him. Oh, he is gonna have a post-credit scene where he's in the raft and he tells Sam, hey, did you know there are gonna be more movies in the future? Stuff's gonna happen. Very cool. Hey, should we have Bruce Banner show up since this movie seems to be wrapping up a bunch of his storylines? No. Okay. So what do you think? Oh, I mean, we've got Captain America, we've got a big old Red Hulk. I think Marvel is back, baby. Yeah, people are gonna go nuts for this.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Ryan George from The Thing You...
Oh, man. It's a tough one. It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. It's pretty tough. I know we have different opinions. I know some people in here really like the movie, but you're wrong. It's bad. And you need to do better, Senator. And by senator, I mean Kevin Feige. So, yeah. All right. Anything else? Any other comments, questions, concerns? What else you want to talk about? You know, it's Friday, baby. It's Friday, baby. Woo! New Marvel Rivals characters out there. People want to play it. Woo! It's good stuff. He didn't become a hero on his own. Who? What are you talking about? You need to stop calling it that. It isn't bad just because you label it that way. Barely anyone shares your opinion. You need to do better, Den of Nerds. Stop catering to the grifter crowd. All right, look, you're right. I'll try to do better, okay? I'll try to do better. I'm sorry that I'm grifting now off of how bad Captain America Brave New World is, okay? So let me try to do better for you. MTMSU. Let me just give me a minute here. Let me think. Captain America Brave New Bullshit. The worst goddamn piece of turd I've ever had to witness with my eyeballs. Starring auraless Captain America. 60-year-old, why the fuck are you in this movie? And 78-year-old, let's shoot this piece of shit Harrison Ford. Come into theaters and buy overpriced bullcrap merchandise for a movie we all knew was gonna be mid as fuck. Is that I don't know. I tried, you know, just for you. Like, it's not my fault that the movie's so goddamn bad. And that for whatever reason, some of you guys, I mean, what do they serve booze at all the theaters around? Like, what's going on, man? Are you in like one of those states where everybody can just buy Bud everywhere and the friggin' shit's just flowing? Like, what's happening? You know, I feel like opening a goddamn investigation into how people watch this movie and came out and said anything positive about it in any way, shape, or form. It is so trash. It is so bad. I think Marvel should be embarrassed. It lacks substance, life, soul, good feelings, happy things, a hopeful future. I mean, look, I frankly wish that there was a surgery like in Severance, and I could sever the me that was forced to see this thing from the me before it. You know? And if we could do that, I would do a GoFundMe to literally try to get money enough to afford that. So I hope for you, MTMSU, I hope that was just a little bit better. Maybe a little bit more chill. So, appreciate you. Glad to have you around. Thank you. All right. We're going to get on out of here. Hey, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. That's a W take. I sent a pic to the Discord, too. Oh, jeez. Ew. Gross. All right, everybody. Hey, much love, man. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here. Seriously, I had a good time with you this week. Always like having fun. Hey, MTMSU, don't take it too seriously. I'm just trolling a little bit. I do think the movie's garbage, but it's not that big of a deal to me if you think it's good. It's all gravy. It's all chill, man. Good things are coming. All right, everybody. Much love. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys over the weekend in some videos, and I'll see you on Monday when we talk about Papa Snyder coming back. Zack Snyder's back, and he's gonna save DC. Hey now, Zack Snyder's back. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. No Diamond Lounge tonight, maybe next week. No, what the hell's this bullshit here? Kyber Sis says, Josh, have you ever sat down with a therapist and talked about how Marvel and James Gunn made you feel? By the way, remember when you said Rebel Moon bigger than Star Wars? You motherfucker. No, I'm not sitting down with no therapist, and I don't remember nothing. Also, is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Leave. Ah, what a happy landing. Good things are coming. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Lots of good stuff. Man, I had a good time on the show. Had a real good time on the show. I hope you did too. All right, everybody. Remember, open up that third eye, baby. And wash out yo stinky butt. Hey! Josh, oh, we love you so much. Well, if you love me, stop sending these goddamn chats at the end of the stream. I'm trying to get out of here and start streaming.